and Education Director with Living.Fit. And we're going to do the movement demo this week is going to be lateral waves. And if you haven't noticed already, so the movement demo that I demonstrate and I talk through, and we talk about the setup, we talk about the benefits, we talk about how to train with it, is the same movement that we do for the challenge. And the challenge is a specific way to do it. There's specific boundaries to either generate strength or power or endurance, or we're trying to create some sort of metric, some sort of way to measure it. Whereas this, I'm just generally going over the benefits and why we can do this movement. So with lateral waves, let's go down here and look at the setup first. So if you guys didn't know, I'm actually here in Camp Pendleton. I'm doing my training with the Marine Corps, but every morning I get up, I do my little workout, I do my morning routine like normal, and then I've got my buddy here, Steve Paxi, he's a staff sergeant with me. He's actually filming, which I really appreciate, so that you guys can get some awesome information. So with this, with the challenge, we did a full length 50-foot rope. With the demonstration today, I'm gonna double it. So it doesn't, you could do it either way, and you can create strength, power, endurance either way, right? It just depends on how you design that program. So with this, all I had to do is bring a pack, bring a sandbag, I've got my strap, I've got my carabiner, I've hooked it in, and then I just put my rope through it. So the same thing works if you have a rig, if you're putting it on a kettlebell or something like that. These straps are gonna save your ropes versus if you put your rope around a rig or something like that, oftentimes there's bolts and they'll start cutting in. Or if you have a really small pipe, anything inch or smaller that you put your rope through, what you'll notice is your rope starts to actually get cut right in half if you're doing doubled rope stuff. So that's the setup. So first, let's talk through the main mistake that happens with battle ropes is way too much tension, and it happens with lateral waves too. We see it all the time where people are pulling really tight and then just barely able to move. I'm not actually able to move laterally. I'm not actually able to do the transverse plane movement that I should be doing and should be generating to create these lateral waves. So what you want to do is just take a big step forward. That frees you up now to be able to move. And so now I can actually create rotation. I can do adduction, abduction, right, with my glenohumeral joint, my chest, my upper back, my scapula. I can do spinal rotation to create the movement. I can do hip rotation. I can even do axial femoral rotation, right? Same things that we do when we throw, same things that we do when we punch, same things that we do when we kick, right? All of these things are going to actually help develop my movement and get me a little bit more coordinated just by doing lateral waves. So that's the kinetic chain, or that's the sequencing and timing that's happening while I'm doing these lateral waves. So let's talk about metabolic pathways or energy system development. So if I want to develop power or strength or endurance, right, I'm always going to start with power first. So with power, I'm going to need to take probably a lot more steps forward, right? This is going to give me a lot more rope that I'm going to have to move. So I'm going to have to actually generate more force. I'm going to have to generate more power output to get my waves to go all the way down to the end. And then my speed as well is going to help really increase my power output, really increase my force production. And then I just have to set up the programming where I'm doing 5 seconds or I'm doing 10 seconds at a time with a lot of rest, right? Which would mimic, like if I was to do powerlifting, or if I was to do weightlifting, right, and do snatches or cleans or something like that, it'd be the same thing. I would do a couple of reps, then I would take a lot of rest. And then I would do a couple of reps, then I'd do a lot of rest. And just make sure that output is really, really, really high. And then now you're going to start to develop that power. So strength, I'll probably take a couple of steps back, and I'm going to increase the amount of work. So I'll do 20 seconds or 30 seconds, even up to 40, 60 seconds at a time. But my goal is to then hit my lactic threshold, right? And get to where my muscles are fatigued, they're tired, they can't move anymore, right? Same thing that we do when we develop strength or hypertrophy, right? We're bringing ourselves kind of to the end, and then that's going to be the push that those muscles need to be able to then come back stronger next week and the week after and the week after as we develop that strength. So those sets and reps will look more like 30 seconds on, 1 minute off, something like that, or 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 20 seconds on, 60 seconds off, something like that. And we'll do 3, 5, 6 sets of that. And then you'll do that week in and week out, and you'll see that your strength can actually go up because either A, I can move forward, or B, I can last longer, or C, I am able to actually finish all of my sets or all of my work time. And then with endurance, I would just take a big step back and I would just go lighter. So lower output, think sub-max, right? Just like running or just like anything that we do when we train endurance, we're doing sub-max loads, nice and easy, and we're able to hold that work for much longer periods of time. So I would do minutes at a time, right? Maybe 5 minutes or 6 minutes or something like that. And obviously you might need to develop up to those higher amounts of time. So that's training strength or power, strength, and endurance. So now let's talk about the sequencing and timing, or if I want to hit certain muscles. So obviously up here, I can just focus on forearm, bicep, tricep, shoulder, pec, and scapula, interscapular muscles, and upper back muscles, right? Just by kind of keeping square and just going here, right? In and out, just like that. Now, if I want to work abs, if I want to work my obliques, transverse abdominis, rectus abdominis, right? Obliques, then I'm going to probably be focusing more on spinal rotation to create the wave. So my arms stay fairly straight, my hips stay fairly square, and I just rotate here. Another way I could do that is I could get down to a knee, or I could even sit down, right? And sitting down is going to force it just in my torso, and then I can use either torso and arms, right? This will really help develop the arms if I'm trying to do that, or the vertical core, my abs and obliques, right down here in the seated position. But maybe I just want to work the whole body, or maybe I want to focus on hip rotation, right? If I'm a baseball player, if I throw or if I punch or something, I want to focus on hip rotation, hip rotation, hip rotation. So notice that heel flares, the heel flares as I rotate through, boom, my hip, and then my arms can stay basically at my sides, fairly static the entire time. Or we could just develop the whole movement pattern, right? And this is going to make for a more athletic, more coordinated person. So how you get what you want to get out of the lateral waves is all in the setup. It's all in the programming, right? We don't have to just, I get on the ropes and I do lateral waves until I'm fatigued or until I've finished or I'm doing my finisher with my lateral waves. So this is just one movement, right? You've seen already a bunch of other movements that we've demonstrated, and we've got way more that are coming at you, but this is just one movement, and you can already see there's a ton of ways to use this movement effectively for your training, for your fitness. So if you have any questions or you want to see more of these, go to Living.Fit, right? We have tons of programs that break all this stuff down, break down the benefits of rope, break down all the information, we have workouts, we have programs, we have exercises, we have exercise demos, we have videos all throughout Living.Fit. Check those out. Or if you want to see more of these lives, Living.Fit/live. And there you go. Have a good one. This is Master Coach Aaron Guyett with Living.Fit. Make your next